Hi, so I'm actually excited to get started again with this book, American Miscellany, published in 1865. You know, at first I thought it was going to be kind of boring and long winded, and it is a little bit, but it's so interesting and so random. And so, actually, our next subject is going to be the philosophy of a tear. Now, previously, we learned about Noah Worcester, the American Apostle of Peace. That was essay number 33. We are now on essay number 34, The Philosophy of a Tear, on page 92 of American Miscellany. The Philosophy of a Tear. Beautiful tear, whether lingering upon the brink of the eyelid, or darting down the furrows of the careworn cheek, thou art beautiful in thy simplicity, great because of thy modesty, strong from thy very weakness. Offspring of sorrow, who will not own thy claim to sympathy? Who can resist thy eloquence? Who can deny mercy when thou pleadest, beautiful tear? Let us trace a tear to its source. The eye is the most attractive organ of the animal bodies. It is placed in a bony socket by which it is protected, and wherein it finds room to perform the motions requisite to its uses. The rays of light which transmit the images of external objects enter the pupil through the crystalline lens, and fall upon the retina, upon which, within the space represented by dime, is formed, in all beauty and perfection, an exact image of many miles of landscape, every object displaying its proper color and true proportions, trees and lakes, hills and valleys, insects and flowers, all in true keeping are they shown at once, and the impression produced thereby upon the filaments of the optic nerve causes a sensation which communicates to the mind the apparent qualities of the varied objects we behold. That this wonderful faculty of vision may be uninterrupted, it is necessary that the transparent membrane which forms the external covering of the eye shall be kept moist and free from the contact of opaque substances. To supply the fluid which shall moisten and cleanse the eye, there is placed at the outer and upper part of the ball a small gland which secretes the lacrimal fluid. The lacrimal fluid? Sorry, that's a new word. Which secretes the lacrimal fluid and pours it out the corner of the eye, whence, by the motion of the lids, it is equally spread over the surface, and thus moisture and clearness are at once secured. When we incline to sleep, the eyes become comparatively bloodless and dull. The eyelids droop to shut out everything which might tend to arouse the slumbering senses. The secretion by the lacrimal glands is probably all but suspended, and the organs of sight participate in the general rest. When, after a long night's sleep, the eyelids first open, there is, therefore, a dullness of vision, arising probably from the dryness of the cornea. Then occur the rapid motions of the eyelids, familiarly termed winking, sometimes instinctively aided by rubbing with the hands, and after a few moments the windows of the body have been properly cleansed and set in order, the eye adjusted to the quantity of light it must receive, and we are awake for the day, and may go forth to renew our acquaintance with the beauties of nature. It is from the glands which supply this moisture that tears flow. Among physiologists, it is well known that emotions, impressions upon the nervous system, exercise a powerful and immediate influence upon the secretions. As, for instance, the mere thought of some savory dish or delicious fruit, or something acid, as the juice of the lemon, will excite an instant flow of the salivary fluid into the mouth. An emotion of the mind influences the lacrimal glands, which copiously secrete and pour forth the crystal drops, and these, as they appear upon the surface of the eye, we denominate tears. A similar action, called forth by another kind of excitement, occurs when dust or other irritating substance comes in contact with the eye. The glands instantly secrete abundantly, and pouring the crystal fluid out upon the surface, the eye is protected from injury, and the offending substance is washed away. The feelings which excite excessive laughter or joy also stimulate this secretion. The eyes are said to water. It is only when the crystal drop comes forth under the impulse of sorrow, thus speaking the anguish of the mind, that it can properly be called a tear. Hence its sacred character, and the sympathy which it seldom fails to create. Every tear represents some indwelling sorrow, preying upon the mind and eating out its peace. It doesn't make sense. Every tear represents some indwelling sorrow, preying on the mind and eating out its peace. The tear comes forth to declare the inward struggle, and to plead a truce against further strife. How meet that the eye should be the seat of tears, where they cannot occur unobserved, but blending with the speaking beauty of the eye itself, must command attention and sympathy. Whenever we behold a tear, let our kindliest sympathies awake. Let it have a sacred claim upon all that we can do to succor and comfort under affliction. What rivers of tears have flown, excited by the cruel and perverse ways of man. War has spread its carnage and desolation, and the eyes of widows and orphans have been suffused with tears. Intemperance has blighted the homes of millions, and weeping and wailing have been incessant. 1,000 other evils which we may conquer have given birth to tears enough to constitute a flood, a great tide of grief. Suppose we prize this little philosophy, and each one determine never to excite a tear in another. How pleasantly will fare mankind! Watching the eye as the telegraph of the mind within, let we observe it with anxious regard, and whether we are moved to complaint by the existence of supposed or real wrongs, let the indication of the coming tear be held as a sacred truce to unkindly feeling, and all our efforts be devoted to the substitution of smiles for tears. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are really random essays.